To be precise, it had been 10 days since Darrow Whittaker disappeared from her residence on the estate that had been in her family for generations, 5 days since I found her, and 3 days since she disappeared again, only this time with my help. Of course, I couldn't talk about any of it with someone outside of her family, especially not a reporter. I know how upsetting this must be for you. I looked down to where her hand rested on my forearm, growling as I wrenched it away. Having concern was one thing. Gumshoeing was another. The ice you're walking on is exceedingly thin. I suggest you turn around and leave of your own volition, unless you prefer I toss you over my shoulder and carry you out. Wait, I have another... I leaned my shoulder into Miss Cartwright's stomach and wrapped my arm around the back of her knees. As threatened, I tossed her over my shoulder and carried her out to the pavement. "What are you doing?" she screeched, pounding on my back. When she tried to kick her legs, I tightened my hold. I made eye contact with one of the several agents also at the pub to bid farewell to Wilder and Wren, who nodded in acknowledgement as I unceremoniously set her feet first on the pavement in front of the pub. "Go home," I spat, turning to go back in. I heard her shout at me to wait, but I ignored her. Once back inside, I needed a minute before joining the party. I pulled out a stool at the bar, ordered a pint, and took a deep breath. Not the smartest thing I could have done, given the beguiling reporter's scent lingered on my skin. "I'll take a whiskey as well," I said to the barmaid. "Looks like you need a double," she responded, setting a glass and the bottle in front of me. With such close proximity to Vauxhall Cross, otherwise known as SAS headquarters, the pub staff were trained not to ask questions of their patrons. They did, however, seem to innately know when one of their regulars needed an extra shot, or in this case, 2 or 3. It wasn't this specific run-in with Miss Cartwright that had me rattled. I could handle the reporter side of her. It was the female beneath the ink-slinger's tough exterior that got under my skin. I tried my damnedest not to look at her pouty, bee-stung lips, or let myself think about how much I wanted to lick off the bright red lipstick she wore. I raised the glass, inhaling her scent again as I tossed the drink back. The woman smelled like none other I'd ever known, as mysterious and provocative as spicy and floral. Today, her long, sandy blonde hair was pulled back from her face in a tight bun. She wore a dark-coloured pencil skirt that skimmed her knees, a loose-fitting white silk blouse that did nothing other than accentuate her mouth-watering curves, and the sexiest damn black heels I've ever seen. Having her in my arms, albeit slung over my shoulder, almost did me in. I longed to take her home, strip her bare, and linger over every scrumptious inch of the body that so regularly invaded my dreams. "Bugger me," I muttered, as I had when she'd walked through the door earlier. Eslind Cartwright wasn't just an annoying reporter on my beat. She was one of Darrow's best mates. And that meant hands off.
"Damn it," I muttered when Pinch stalked inside, leaving me in the street. I'd been staked out nearby when I saw him walk into the pub, but instead of telling him why I needed to talk to him, I got sidetracked when I saw Wren Whittaker. Now I'd lost my chance. If I tried to go back in, the agent I saw nod at Pinch would prevent me from doing so. Even when Pinch glared at me like he had earlier, I couldn't help my body's reaction to the man. His back had been to me when I approached, giving me a few seconds to take in the way his trousers hugged his sculpted gluteus maximus, while his dress shirt strained across his traps, lats, and delts. When he'd turned toward me, and those eyes that seemed brown one minute, blue the next, and the worst, when they looked a perfectly panty-melting shade of sea green, settled on me, I'd almost collapsed in his arms. Now I was outside and he was in, and as badly as I needed his help, I had no way to get in.